bringing the recording on, and then we'll start. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. So today's topic is whole Bhagavad Gita in 4 shlokas. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, we have 700 shlokas, right? 700 shlokas, starting with first shloka, that Dhritarashtra is inquiring, Dhritarashtra vacha dharam kshetre kurukshetre. And then Sanjay starts explaining to Dhritarashtra what is happening on the battlefield, where all the warriors are there facing each other, ready to kill each other. And then Arjuna and Krishna both blow their conch shells, and it was like, okay, war is about to start. And then Arjuna says, 1 minute, I need some time. And then he says, Krishna, he actually addresses Krishna as Achyut. He says, hey Achyut, please, please take my chariot in the middle of the battlefield between the two armies so I can see the warriors. Those are here on the side of Duryodhan. Those are taking side of evil-minded Duryodhan. So I want to see them. And then Krishna takes his chariot um, in between the battlefield, between the two armies, just in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama. And he says that, Arjun, here are all the warriors. This is your position on this chariot between the two armies, and these are all Kurus. He is not saying these are all Kauravas. He's saying Kurus, which means you see your own army also along with Duryodhan party. Huh? So basically, he was trying to put Arjuna in a spot. Like, you are alone, and this is the whole world alone, which means you are gonna kill the Kauravas, and you will be seeing the killing of your own party, your own brothers. Uh, so he is actually putting Arjuna in a situation where all of us are at certain point of time, or we even are today. We take birth in this world alone, we go from this world alone. And many a times when our relationships are broken, or we don't see while we are chasing different dreams and we keep leaving people behind, certain point in our life we feel very lonely. uh, Lot of wealth, we have lot of wealth, big car, big bungalow, every person who dream for, but we either we don't have our loved ones, or we have them but the relationship is not strong. So Krishna was using Arjuna as an instrument to teach a good lesson to all of us. Uh, and then he is starting with different shlokas where Arjuna is also realizing that yes, in this world, my position is really pathetic. See, being a patient is one thing, but realizing that I'm a patient is another thing. Hmm? Someone might be saying, "Oh no, no, this is not good. You are not good, doing good. You should visit a doctor." No, I don't think so. That's a big problem. It will be recovered itself. So if I am diseased but I'm not recognizing it, is a bigger disease. But I am diseased and I'm recognizing it, at least there is a chance that I will try to find a doctor. 99% or more than that population of this world is a diseased in a diseased situation. Why? Because they are not understanding that they are wearing the shoes of Arjuna. They are materialistic people. Like Arjuna says, Karpanya dosho pahatas subhava prichhami tvam dharma sammood cheta. So Arjuna is saying Karpanya dosh. What is that dosh which is called Karpanya? Hmm? Arjuna is saying, I am diseased with this Karpanya problem. What is this Karpanya problem? Karpanya problem means that I am miser. Even though I have this body, but I don't know how to properly use this body. Karpanya dosho pahatat subhava. Prichhami tvam. Prichhami means asking. I am asking you, tvam, I am asking you. Why are you asking me? Because dharam sammood cheta. Some dharam sammood cheta means I don't know what is dharam. My mind is completely bewildered. I don't know. See, as a householder, I should be protecting my own people. But see, here they are. I am ready to kill them. So what should be my duty? As a householder, I should be protecting them. As a warrior, I should be killing them. Those are not following the religion, principles of religion. So I'm confused. Do I need to protect them or do I need to kill them? Dharam sammood cheta. Hmm? So I'm inquiring about you because how to properly use this body, I don't know. Huh? So, and that's where Krishna starts speaking all this great transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. You see, people in this world might be fighting for anything. I'm talking about spiritualist people, but I have realized that no matter what faith person is following, but everybody has a good trust in Bhagavad Gita. Hmm? I mean, that's a different matter. What person concludes out of reading Bhagavad Gita? Some people say Shiva is God, Brahma is God, this God, that God, you are God, I am God. I'm not talking about that, but at least from the faith perspective, everybody has faith in Bhagavad Gita. Now, this great literature, uh, where all of us and most of us have faith in, have four shlokas in there. Out of 700 shlokas in this book, there are four shlokas. And if one understands those four shlokas, then he has understood whole Bhagavad Gita. Those are four important shlokas. That is why those four shlokas are also known as Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. Hmm? Chatur Shloki. Um, it's like getting the juice from a fruit. Huh? You you put some seed in the ground, take care of that, wait for the seed to grow, become a tree, wait for the tree to shower some fruits, and then you ate those fruits. So you drive some juice out of it. So that juice is actually the whole summary of whatever you did for. So out of all these 400 shlokas, these four shlokas are the juice of Bhagavad Gita. The main, if we have understood these four shlokas, okay, fine, you have understood everything. Hmm? You don't need to do full doctorate. It just, you got some kunji. We used to call that kunji in my childhood days. If we have to quickly pass some exam, so my exam will get some kunji, which will have some important questions. You will understand all those questions, and then you will be able to clear the exam. Kunji. So these four shlokas, the Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita, that we are gonna discuss today, is very very important. Hmm? So let's get started. Yes, before we do that, there are three things that every scripture that you will read: Bible, Jesus, Quran, Ved, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever scripture you talk about, we'll have to first understand the these three things that we will discuss now. For example, if I go to library and I start reading some books related with biology, and I'm just reading, understanding, and then I probably after an year, two, three, four, I come out and then say, I know everything what a doctor knows, what a dentist knows, a dermatologist knows. I have developed the expertise, and now I can take it, I can cure anyone. Now the problem in this, I might be having the knowledge, but that is not authorized by the government, huh? Which means that I cannot still um, cure the patients because I don't have that degree. I'm illegally practicing. Correct. So similarly, reading any scripture, if the purpose of reading any scripture is to boast around saying, I know this many shlokas, I know whole Bhagavad Gita. So many people share their videos on YouTube, how they can better pronounce than others the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So this is like using a sword to cut an apple, where a knife can also work. Bhagavad Gita is not meant for sense gratification. It is the highest science, which is to take back home, which is to take one back home, back to Godhead. So for any scripture we read, we'll have to understand these three things that you see on my screen. What is it? Sambandh, Abhidhe, and Prayojan. What is Sambandh? See, Sambandh means um, who am I? What is my relationship with the Lord? What is the relationship of nature with me, my and Lord, and how Lord is acting in this universe, in this material creation? What is the role of him? What is the role of mine? How I am connected? How I'm connected with nature? How I'm connected with everybody? To understand this is called sambandh, like a doctor. I'm reading a book. I understood that how I am connected with the body, which means how different cells are working, teeth are working. For example, dentist, he will understand how teeth are working, different shapes, how they affect overall chewing of the food, different aspects of this. Similarly, when I am reading a scripture, I should know how I am connected with the supreme being. That's called sambandh gyan. What I am, what supreme being is, and how am I connected. The relation. Sambandh means relation. And then abhide. Abhide means how to practice. Hmm? Or before we talk about abhide, let's talk about prayojan. So we talked about sambandh. What is the relationship? And then what to do after deriving this relationship? What do I do? Hmm? For example, this person takes an admission into a university. He should first understand the position of university, the position of him in the university, and then what is the purpose of understanding it? To get a degree from the university. Hmm? Now, after understanding the position, he has to get a degree. To get a degree, he'll have to pass all the exams. So that is called abhidhe. Abhidhe means process. Okay. So sambandh means understanding the relationship of me with the Lord. And then what is the purpose of understanding it? Prayojan, to go back home, back to Godhead. I don't want to stay in this material world because this material world is very confusing, isn't it? Every other step you see, we always, I mean, starting from buying a bicycle, bike, car, visa, getting kids, which school would be better for my kids, which car would be better for me to buy, which house will be. We are always keep making decisions, always confused. Huh? That is why Google search is so famous, because it knows people has to take decisions. Huh? So we don't want to stay in this world confused, always taking decisions. We want to be clear, always live a blissful life. We don't want to stuck in this ocean of birth and death, old age and disease. Huh? These are, they say, as true as dead. At least everyone believes that we are going to die. There is a saying, as true as dead. So we don't want to stay here. We want to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is called prayojan. That is our ultimate purpose. We want to get rid of this mortal world and go to the spiritual world which is full of eternal bliss and happiness. So for that, there is sambandh. We understand that. And in between called abhidhe. What to do to achieve that purpose. Hmm? So please feel free to interrupt anywhere, or you can text over chat also. So I will keep taking your questions also whenever you feel like. So we understood sambandh, abhidhe, and prayojan. So basically, if we are reading Bhagavad Gita or any scripture, this is the ultimate purpose of that scripture also. And even if even a single, what to talk about text, even a single word is bringing you to this point of understanding that what is sambandh, what is abhidhe, what is prayojan, it means you have understood the whole purpose of all the scriptures. That's all. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna about all these different aspects. But he is not directly telling about sambandha, because see, you and me are able to understand, or might be able to understand, when we will discuss this sambandha philosophy today. But to a nursery student, for example, to a high school student, if you directly teach PhD education, he will not be able to understand. He needs time. Oh, right. So he would need time. So when Krishna starts explaining all these different aspects, then he comes in the 10th chapter, Opulence of the Absolute. And that's where he starts explaining these Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. So this is from 10th chapter, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this is 8th shloka. So we will discuss 8, 9, 10, and 11. 4 shlokas we will discuss. We might be able to cover just 2 shlokas today, but next 2 shlokas we'll take in the next class. Okay. So we discussed about Sambandh, Abhidhe, and Prayojan, which is the ultimate purpose of all scriptures. That's it. And Bhagavad Gita, as a topmost science of all the scriptures, where all the sages have also accepted, we are going to discuss even the juice, the main sar of that Bhagavad Gita today, from chapter 10, text number 8, 9, 10, and 11. Text number 8 says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti mattva bhajante mam buddha bhav samanvita. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Let's read the translation first. So Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material words. I am sarvasya prabhavo. Prabhavo means I am the ultimate purpose. Sarva karan karnanam. I am the cause of all causes. I am the source. Huh? Everything comes from me. Again, he emphasizes this and says, Mattha sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. Iti matva bhajante mam. He says, Iti matva bhajante mam. So, iti matva, those who accept this fact, bhajante mam. Mam means me. So, Krishna says, they bhajante, they worship me. Oh, why they are worshipping you? Huh? Okay, you are the source of all. Everything emanates from you. You are the cause of all causes. You are the source of all spiritual material worlds. Fine, but why they are worshipping you? Huh? Krishna says, Buddha bhav samanvita. Buddha means they are intelligent. Krishna says, because they are intelligent, they are worshipping me with bhav samanvita, with full devotion, with full faith, with full conviction that Krishna is my ultimate protector and there is no other protector in this world who can save me from the clutches of Maya. So let's discuss it more. Same shloka. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. You see, I have written one example here. If we have a fruit, we were just discussing about it. So what is the origin of fruit? We will say, oh, it came from tree. What is the origin of tree? Tree came from seed. Huh? But then who is getting us the seed? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvayonishu Konteya. You see on my screen? Sarvayonishu Konteya. Konteya means Arjuna. He says, O Konte, Sarva Yonishu, all the yoni means all the all the 84 lakh species, fish, human, other animals, even demigods, everybody comes into Sarva Yonishu. Hmm. He says Sarva Yonishu Konteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahad Yonir Aham Bija Pradapita. Aham, he's saying Aham. Huh? He's saying here this word Aham Bij Pradapita. He's saying, I am the seed giving father. For whom? For everybody, he's saying. Hmm? That's the example here. So anything we are eating, for example, we talk about milk. Who is giving us the milk? Cow is giving us the milk. How is cow is taking birth? The seed of getting cows in this word is Krishna. Hmm? Our our children gives a lot of pleasure when they play, when we talk to them. There's always a very loving reciprocation that we have with our children. Who is getting us the seed? How children are coming into this world? So you'll say, oh, semen is there, then semen gets into mother's womb. That's how children comes into the world. But who is producing the semen? Who is getting the seed in the semen that a child takes birth? That semen is also coming from Krishna's arrangement. So uh, everything, Krishna is the ultimate person who is the seed giving father of everything and everyone that we see in this world. Everything. Give me 1 minute. There is a shlok in fifth chapter, and I'm trying to get to that. Yeah. So, so we understand that aham sarvasya prabhavo means everything is coming from Krishna. In the next one, you see, we have matta sarvam pravartate. Hmm? So, yeah. So Krishna says that everything comes from me, which means creation, annihilation, and maintenance. All are happening from everything happening from Krishna. Hmm? You see, if we are eating, for example, we can see someone eating. He is eating, but who is sanctioning him to lift his hand and eat the food stuff? Someone must be sanctioning his hand to get lifted, because not everybody can lift his hand. Also, you see, in old age people say, oh, they can just speak something. Oh, give me some glass of water. Then some person will come. They will lift him, and they will give him the water to drink, because they are old enough, they cannot lift their hand. So someone is a sanctioning authority who is sanctioning that now you can lift your hand, but now no more hand lifting you can do. So who is sanctioning all this? That is Krishna. That sanctioning power is coming from Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is saying matta sarvam pravartate. That sanctioning is also coming from Krishna. So, for example, in a company, it's like we can give someone in a company lot of appreciation for doing something. But ultimately, who is providing that person resources like computer, training, mentor, platform to do all these things that he is doing? That is the owner of the company. Owner of the company says, "This is the computer. You do your coding, and this mentor, he will teach you everything." And then the same person does a lot of good things for the company, and the company appreciates him also. But who is providing him ultimately all the resources? That is the owner of the company. Similarly, we might be achieving a lot of things in our life, but who is giving us the intelligence? to do all the things that we, wonderful things that we do? Who is giving us the resources? Hmm? And above all, who is giving us the body itself to do the wonderful things? That is Krishna. Matta sarvam pravartate. Now the question is, how much we remember him, the Supreme Lord, that he is our creator and maintainer, that he is giving us all these things, that we are able to have nice food, we are able to have nice shelter, we have nice spouse, children, relatives. How much we appreciate the person who is giving us all this. That appreciation is not there. Hmm? Nowhere actually. You take science, these scientists, they give credit to Newton for finding out the laws of nature. Huh? They say was very great. Why? Because he gave us so many, I think he gave us these nature's laws, action, reaction, and so on and so forth. And they call them Newton's laws. Even though they are God's laws, they give credit to Newton. So science is not giving any credit to God. There is no teaching, no chapter, not even a single chapter uh, which glorifies God, that God is so great. He has created such a wonderful nature. No, all credit goes to scientists. We are not appreciating the ultimate person who is Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Krishna is clearly saying here. So the point I'm trying to make is that we all are completely forgetful of the Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Raso Aham Apsu Kaunteya, which means Kaunteya means O Arjuna, Raso Aham Apsu. Apsu means water. Raso Aham, I am the taste of water. Kaunteya, O Arjun. Now, when we taste water, how much we remember Krishna, the Supreme Lord? Krishna is the source of everything. And if we remember this fact all the time, we can live very peacefully in this world. Matta sarvam pravartate. If we remember this fact that Krishna is everything, everything coming from Krishna, then the doership mentality that we carry, that will not be there. For example, as a parent, I carry this mentality. This child is mine. And how can he do this nonsense? Ultimately, it is affecting me. Why? Because I think that this child belongs to me. We don't think that this child belongs to actually Krishna, and as a father, I have given some duty to take care of him. Like a security guard. If the security guard thinks that I am the owner of this bungalow or the society, then he would never be peaceful. With such a big society, how would he take care of that? Uh, But as a security guard, if he does his duty, then that's enough. And that's all is expected. So we can live very peacefully in this world if we understand that Mattah Sarvam Pravartate. Everything belongs to Krishna. I am supposed to do only my duty. This Thursday, I was giving this lecture in University of Arlington, and I was discussing this philosophy with them that in our scriptures, never ever you will find an appreciation for the achievement, but for the endeavor. Appreciation should be only for endeavor. At least the result is only in Krishna's hand. We should do our duty as nicely as possible as a servant. But result is not in our hand. Huh? A farmer is nicely taking care of his crops, but rain is not there. Then what should he do? Nowadays, you see a lot of farmers are committing suicide. Why are you committing suicide? I mean, there are some valid reasons, but I'm talking about them when you think that uh, you should have nice crops because you are the owner, you are the ultimate result giver. Hmm? No, if three people are lifting some weight and keeping it on a different place, and a one person, after keeping it on a different place, out of these three, one person says, "I did it, I did it, I did it," that you would call him a stupid person, huh? Isn't it? So if a crop is coming out of the field, it's not only just your endeavor, it's rain and then kal. There are three factors that works in any result that we get in this world: our endeavor, and then nature and kal. These three works. So what is in our hand? Only endeavor. So scriptures never talk about result. They say, oh, result is anyway in your, it's not in your hand. It's just endeavor. And you did the nice endeavor. That's all. That's the appreciation goes to only endeavors, So matta sarvam pravartate. So where is the result resides in the hands of Krishna. So we can become very peaceful in this world if we do our duty nicely, understanding that ultimately the results are coming from Krishna. We just have to do our duty. All these anger management workshops and all, they talk about big things, but they don't talk about the basic thing that Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Matta sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from Krishna. This doership mentality is wrong. Now the question is, how do we remember Krishna? So okay, you have said very nice thing. Matta sarvam pravartate. We should remember Krishna. But then, how do we remember Krishna? You see, I have been living in US for last probably 6 years or so. I talk to my parents very often, even though while I am here. Why? Because I am indebted to what they have done for me. They are my parents. Throughout my life, they took care of me. Even now, they keep asking me. Every time they hear I got some little fever, they got really worried. They get so worried that they keep calling my wife. How is he doing now? Huh? So they are my Prabhavo. We just read in first line, that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. So they are my Prabhavo, but not the ultimate Prabhavo. They are my immediate Prabhavo, but they are my Prabhavo. So all of us know our immediate Prabhavo, our parents, and we are very grateful of them. We take care of them. While I am here, I always talk to my siblings in India, and then we keep discussing about how our parents doing. Do we need to visit any doctor for anything like that? So in our capacity, we always worry about our immediate prabhavo, our immediate um, originator, our immediate parents. But unfortunately, how many people in this world know about ultimate prabhavo, the ultimate originator, Lord Shri Krishna? This is these the children who doesn't have a child who does not know about his parents is an orphan child, isn't it? So many people you see in this world, they don't know about their ultimate prabhavo, their ultimate parent. I would call these people like orphan child, because orphan child also does not know about his parents. So what he does, he actually struggles in this world. Why? Because he does not know about his parents. He is doing everything by himself. And I'm not saying this. Krishna is saying this, Bhagavad Gita, 15 chapter, 7 text. Krishna says, Mam Vansha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Karshati, Krishna says. Karshati means is struggling very hard. Why he is struggling very hard? Krishna says. Krishna says, Mama Vansha Jiva Loke. Mama Vansha, this Jiva is my Ansha. He is my Ansha, but he is struggling very hard. Why? Because he is forgetful. Mana Shastrani Indriyani. With all his senses, that includes the mind, he is struggling in this material world. Why? Because he is forgetful. Which brings us down to the same point. Okay, fine, but how, how do we remember him? Huh? First of all, we'll have to understand that we are diseased, we are forgetful. And then comes the point, how do we remember him? Okay, some people might also say, okay, about materialistic people, fine, they are orphan, they don't know about Krishna, the the ultimate protector, the ultimate parent. Aham bija prajapita, Krishna says, they don't know about their origin. They are coming from Krishna. But what to talk about devotees? How can devotees remember Krishna all the time? Because to the devotees, they know Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So how does it apply to them? And moreover, how can devotees also remember Krishna? Huh? I was earlier talking that I take care of my parents as I feel a lot of gratitude for them. Hmm? So when there is gratitude, there is reciprocation and appreciation. We reciprocate. When there is no reciprocation and gratitude, for example, immediately comes what? Forgetfulness. So are we reciprocating enough not to forget full of Krishna? Huh? To the degree we are reciprocating through anyone in this survey, through anyone in this world, through service. I mean to say, to the degree we are serving anyone, to that degree we are also very grateful of him. Once the service stops, slowly, the person is also gets forgetful. I mean, we gets forgetful of that person. Hmm? So remembrance comes from service. So do we always care for Krishna's service, or we sometimes um, come in Sunday feast in the temple and forget about that, forget after that? Hmm? That's the question. How much time we are spending every day in remembering Krishna? That's the question. Or serving Krishna. Remembering, okay, remembering comes anyway. That's a byproduct of serving. If we will serve, remembering will come. That's not a big thing. Huh? But serving is first. Many of you must have heard this story, right? One time, one guru calls his two disciples and he says that I am giving you this stick, and you find a place and hide it somewhere, wherever you feel like, but just make sure that no one sees you. So it's a very crowded place. Just make sure that no one sees you. Okay. So both the disciples says, okay, Guru Maharaj. Huh? So one disciple goes and immediately comes back. He says that I have done my job perfectly. I found a place and no one could ever find out. Never find out where I have hide that stick. The second disciple comes, but he was very morose. He says, I am so sorry. I could not find any such place, Guru Maharaj. And then Guru says, why? What happened? You could have found at least one place. He says, no, I am so sorry, Guru Maharaj. I could not find even a single place where no one could saw me. So Guru says, okay, but why do you think so? What all places you went? He says, I went there, I went there, I went there. And then he said, I could not find anything where God could not see me. He is everywhere. He is watching everybody. Everybody's activities. Now, what to talk about activities, even what everybody is thinking of, that also Krishna is hearing, watching, walking with us. So that is called Krishna consciousness. We are 24 by 7 conscious of Krishna. And that is the meaning of that is the meaning of pravartate. To make sure that everything is coming from Krishna. Matta sarvam pravartate, that is the meaning. So are we Krishna conscious like a lover who is 24 by 7 conscious of his girlfriend, or like a mother who is 24 by 7 conscious of her child? Or we are occasionally conscious of serving Krishna? That would define our depth of gratitude that we feel for him, and our understanding also. How much we accept Krishna as Sarvasya Prabhavo, an ultimate creator of all creation, Supreme Father. Okay, and after that, Krishna says, "Iti matva bhajanti mam." Once they understand it, so to the degree they accept this fact, to that degree they start worshipping me. Okay, and then comes, okay, are they sentimental? He says, no, Buddha, they are very intelligent. So person gets admission into Oxford University, Harvard University to do big research, where the universe has come from. Getting an admission to this university is very difficult. They might be very intelligent in the eyes of the world, but in the eyes of Krishna, no, they are not very intelligent. Then who is intelligent? Who knows this fact? Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. Who knows that everything is coming from Krishna. That is the most intelligent person. He does not need to do any research, because he understands this fact and he is doing bhajan. Okay, this is also an important thing here that I wanted to emphasize. See, the word serve here has been used two times. Sarvasya is there, and then sarvam is there. The word sarv has been used two times here. Hmm? So why so? Why sarv is used two times here? Sarvasya prabhavo, sarvam parvartate. Hmm? See, we give so much importance to money, isn't it? Why we give so much importance to money? Because uh, because we understand that we can buy anything from money. But the fact is, not everything comes from money that we can buy. I mean, we can buy a lot of stuff in this world, but not everything. Um, for example, we can buy wheat to have food, but that doesn't come from money. You can buy wheat. You can go to India Bazaar or Indian stores or Whole Foods, and we can pay some amount. We can get the stuff to eat, the wheat, fruits, and everything, but they are not coming from money. We can buy sweets, but the sweetness doesn't come from money. We can buy beds, pillows, bed sheets, but sleep doesn't come from money. But here is Krishna. That is why Krishna is using word the sarva two times here to emphasize that money and everything that you cannot buy from money, that is also coming from Krishna. So here is Krishna is saying sarvasya prabhavo, everything comes from me. That means not only money, but even everything that money cannot buy, can buy, cannot buy, that also comes from Krishna. So an intelligent person, like Krishna is saying, Buddha, Krishna used this word here, Buddha bhav samanvita. So an intelligent person will not run behind money, but the person, but he will run behind someone who is giving both money and what money can also not buy. So he is more intelligent. That is the meaning of this word sarva, and that is why such people are called intelligent. And that is why these intelligent people do bhajan by constantly chanting his holy name. Uh, so um, I will. So these are some other important points that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport, and these are very amazing points. I thought I'll discuss them with you. So Prabhupada says the person can never be deviated from any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods also. See, nowadays you see people will go to YouTube and they will start hearing anything. You know, one person was saying that Krishna has said this thing in Bhagavad Gita, that thing in Bhagavad Gita, and someone in the audience he asked, okay, how many times you have read Bhagavad Gita? He said, I have not read any time, like I have not read ever. What is this? It's like someone who has not read mathematics and he starts talking about what mathematics is all about. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. The devotees of Krishna, they have full faith in Vedic literatures and they can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries by fools. Prabhupada is very strong when it comes to presenting the Supreme Father, Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna. Now he is giving certain facts from Brahma, Shiva. There are many. I would suggest that you guys go and read the full purport, but I am putting here a few of them. So Prabhupada says in Atharved Gopal Tapani Upanishad, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vedadati Puryam Yo Vai Vedamscha Gapayati Sma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. So, which means um, Vedic knowledge comes from Krishna, and in the beginning of creation, Krishna gives this knowledge to Brahma. Why? Because Brahma has to do the creation. So Krishna says, okay, this is the knowledge. You go and do the creation. Hmm? So not only Brahma, Vedic knowledge also coming from Krishna. And then Prabhupada gives another proof that why Krishna is God. He's saying Upanishad continues, says नारायणाद ब्रह्मा जयते, नारायणाद प्रजापति जयते, नारायणादिंद्रो जयते, नारायणाद अस्तौ वसयो जयते, नारायणाद एकादश रुद्र जयते, नारायणाद द्वादशादिताया. Translation: from Narayana, Brahma is born. From Narayan, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayan, Indra is born. From Narayan, 8 Vasus are born. From Narayan, 11 Rudras are born. From Narayan, 12 Adityas are born. And this Narayan is an expansion of Krishna. You see? And this is not something someone is concocting. This is all from our Vedic literatures. That Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So we understood that, okay. So this is Sambandh that we are discussing in this text 8. In beginning, quickly revise. In beginning, we discussed uh, that all the Vedic literatures talk about Sambandh, Abhidhi, and Prayojan. Sambandh means we understand the position of super being and ourself. Prayojan, what is the ultimate purpose by understanding it? The ultimate purpose is to go back to Godhead. And then in between, whatever we do, the process from understanding to the prayojan, the ultimate purpose, we have to go back home. The process is called abhidheya. So whatever we understood so far, this is sambandh, means what we are, what is Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate prabhavo. Everything is coming from Krishna, and as a part and parcel of Krishna, Mama Vansha, Jivaloka, Jiva Bhuta, Sanatana, as a part and parcel of Krishna, we are supposed to serve him. We are supposed to actually remember him all the time, but to do that we have to serve him all the time. That is sambandha. Okay, so we'll move ahead. If there is a question, please feel free to text over chat. This is text 9. Text 9. मच्चिता मतगत प्राणा बोधयन्त परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च. So this is abhidhe. This is talking about how do we achieve our goal, the process. Machitta. Let's read the translation, then we'll discuss. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Machitta means they are always conscious of me. Madgat prana, their lives are fully devoted to my service. Prana means their prana, their life is fully devoted to me. Bodhayanta parasparam, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another. Parasparam means one another and conversing about me. So he's saying Kathayantascha mam nityam. Kathayantascha means they do katha, they discuss. About whom? Mam, about me. For how long? Nityam. He's saying always. Always they talk about me. Bodhyantaha. The word bodhyanta means they give this knowledge to each other by parasparam, by discussing about mam, me. Clear? And then nityam, always. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti, they feel very satisfied. And ramanti cha, they feel very satisfied. They feel always blissful by doing what? By discussing about me. And who are they? They are machittaha. Machitta means they are always conscious of me. And in fact, their very life is me. They live for me, they die for me. And I do not know anyone, Krishna is saying in Bhagavatam, I do not know anyone in this world other than my devotees, and my devotees also do not know anyone other than me. That's the pure relationship between the Lord and his pure devotees, and that is Abhidhe. This is how we achieve the Supreme Lord. So there are 5 birds which are important here, as you see on my screen. Machitta, Madgat Prana. The first 2 are personal. We do personally, like it's on individual level. And then Kathayantascha, Bodhyanta Kathayantascha. It happens among devotees. So you need more than one people for this. Bodhyanta Kathayantascha. And Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. It gives benefit on individual level, but to everybody. So the first thing is Machitta Madgat Prana. That is my qualification. I'll have to do what on it, the personal level. And then I need devotees to do what? The next step, which is bodhyanta kathanscha, which means discussing about Krishna. And then what would happen with that? The result, tushyanti ramanti. On an individual level, everybody will feel tushyanti ramanti, will feel very satisfied, will feel blissful about it. You see, all these other yogas, like, Dhyan yoga, Ashtanga yoga, they are very individualistic level. Like, you just sit on Dhyan and you just do some Dhyan on something, someone we don't know, close the eyes, must be sleeping, don't know. But you have to take your full responsibility when it comes to other yoga. I mean, other than Bhakti yoga, I'm talking about. Whole responsibility comes on your shoulder. How would you do your benefit? That is on you. There is if you go to YouTube, who is that person who recently he was jailed for many years, and then so he's from India, but in 1971 he went to US and he started teaching their Hatha yoga. Vikrant, his name is Vikrant Yoga. You go on YouTube and just type Vikrant Yoga, you will hear his full story. So he was teaching Ashtanga yoga, very good gymnastic person. I mean, he had a very toned body. He went there, he started teaching them Ashtanga yoga. A lot of people got benefit also. And then later point of time, then he fell down from his position. He started taking association of girls there. Those were his own students. So because there is no shelter, what are you doing? This is on your call. But Bhakti Yoga is not like that. For example, we are discussing about Krishna here, what Krishna is teaching, what devotees are doing. I'm also getting the benefit by talking about Krishna. You also getting the benefit by hearing about Krishna. And then after the class, let's say if it is a temple class, we can also have prasadam together, dinner prasadam, lunch prasadam. So you are also having remnants of Krishna. I'm also having remnants of Krishna. This is also so someone is cooking prasadam, someone is having prasadam. So it's very the support system around bhakti yoga is so good that person feel always blissful and happy about it. This process, the whole process is so nourishing, I would say. So that is why it's saying so this word, bodhyanta, kathansya, these are so important that automatically matchitta madgatpana also comes. If a new person also starts talking about Krishna in the assembly, then it becomes very easy for him to focus his mind on Krishna. So let's understand these words. So we are talking about matchitta here. Matchitta, which means mind fully engaged in me. Krishna says matchitta means your mind should be fully engaged in me. Now there are two things: engagement of ourselves and engagement of mind. Hmm? Huh? So now the question is, what is to be actually engaged? Do I need to engage myself or do I need to engage my mind? Because Krishna is talking about matchitta. Krishna is asking to engage the mind, and we engage our bodies. Huh? So it's a little confusion here. Huh? What to be engaged? Someone can show this proof that I will not do any service to Krishna. Why? I just want to sit in dhyan, focus on Krishna. Because Krishna is talking about matchitta. So what is the difference? What is the difference in engaging the body and engaging the mind? Ourselves means activities that we do, and mind means activities of mind or being conscious of Krishna. Let us take an example. You see a boy fall in love with a girl. That boy must be doing so many activities, but his mind is constantly dwelling on thoughts of Krishna, on thoughts of that girl who whoever he is in love with. So the boy must be studying, talking, eating, thinking, but all the time he is in full meditation of that girl. This is called girl consciousness. Very heavily, very heavily promoted through different, mediums like Bollywood movies, advertisements, and nowadays YouTube, Netflix, and whatnot. Girl consciousness or boy consciousness. So here, this boy's chitta, mind, is girl chitta, right? Girl consciousness. Similarly, Krishna, in the previous shloka talked about Buddha. Buddha means intelligent people. And now, here in this shloka, he is talking about the nature of the mind of Buddha, nature of the mind of intelligent people. He's saying the intelligent people's mind is mat chittaha. They are Krishna conscious. Like we were just discussing, the boy fall in love with a girl conscious. So intelligent people's mind is Krishna conscious. That means their mind is constantly thinking of Krishna. I mean, they might be pujari behind an altar in the temple or CEO of the company, doesn't matter. Like you see Sudama, Sudama, Krishna's friend, he was fully Krishna conscious. He was a Brahman. But at the other hand, you see Parikshit Maharaj. Some of you must have heard the story of Parikshit Maharaj. He was the king of entire planet. He was and he was also Krishna conscious. Hmm? You know that story, King Parikshit. This story comes in Bhagavatam that King Parikshit was actually very, very nicely taking care of his whole citizens. But one day when he went for hunting, he was very thirsty and he saw a sage, and the sage was in deep meditation. And because he was thirsty, he went there and he asked for some water from that sage. But sage was in deep meditation, so he didn't know what is going in the outside world. And then king got little upset, and he thought that this sage is behaving like a deaf person, so like a snake. So he took the snake and he put that snake in the neck of that sage, and he came back to his palace. While the sage was in deep meditation, he didn't know what happened to him. um, but the son of the sage came, and he came to know from his friends that the king came and he put a snake in your father's neck. So he gave a curse to King Parikshit that, okay, the same snake will come and bite you. In how many days? In 7 days, just 7 days. When the sage came out of his meditation and he came to know that my son had given this curse, then along with his son, he came to king's palace and he said, my dear king, first of all, I am sorry. I did not hear anything about your uh, request that you were thirsty and you needed a water. But more than that, the important thing is that my son has given you a curse and you're going to die in 7 days. I'm so sorry about that. And the surprising part is King Parikshit became very happy. Can you imagine? One of my college friend, um, he died last year in October, and he was telling me that he came to know about the disease he had in January, and as soon as he heard about it, his life, I mean, he was so shattered. And who would not be in this world? We are always very fearful driving on the road, doing so many things. We are always fearful. But you see the devotee of the Lord, he became joyful. He said, wow, I had so many duties to perform while I am a king. I was not getting time to hear about Krishna. Now I can leave everything, and for 7 days, I will just hear about Krishna. That's the amazing thing. And he said, thank you so much. So why I'm telling you this is Krishna consciousness. Mat chitta, madgat prana. Madgat prana. They live for me, they die for me. That is the consciousness of devotee. That is the consciousness of a devotee. So all the devotees of Krishna, from the external perspective, they might be having big cars, or they might be living in poverty, but actually they are very blissful. From the external perspective, you will see one person is healthy, other person is in disease situation, but both of them are devotee of Krishna. Actually, both of them are driving great pleasures out of devotional service of Krishna. Why? Because their chit is completely on Krishna. Now, some of you must be thinking, hey, what is the use of doing anything for Krishna if it is all about mind? Hmm? Like, what is the use of chanting if mind is not focused or very much distracted? What is the use of preparing garland for Lord Krishna, Radha Krishna, if I'm constantly thinking of taking revenge from an enemy? Or what is the use of preparing feast for the Lord if I'm constantly worrying about my family? If everything is all about mind and my mind is disturbed, if mat chitta, if chit has to be engaged in Krishna's service and my mind is very disturbed, then what is the use of doing all the external things? You see, everything that mind contemplates upon in this world also comes from some touch with senses. So first, our senses touch with the sense object, and then comes the mind contemplation. Let me explain you. First of all, what are senses? We know what are senses: eyes, ears, skin, nose, and tongue. These are senses. Hmm? Vision, hearing, touch, smell, or taste. These are all senses. Now, let's take an example. Why do you feel about buying a BMW? Hmm? Because your eyes saw them somewhere. Or probably your ears hear about the functionality or opulence of that car. Huh? So tongue must have similarly a tongue must have tasted some sweetness from somewhere. That's why we feel like eating some nice dessert. Why do a boy's mind keeps dwelling on a girl in a romantic affair? Because he also had some level of interaction with her through, of course, his senses. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yatato heyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschita indriyani pirmathini haranti prasabham mana. Krishna says that these senses are so strong. Oh Arjuna, these senses are so strong that they forcibly carry away the mind, which means senses are different, mind is different, but the senses are taking the mind to somewhere, which means mind is on the back seat and on the front seat, these are senses. So if mind is to be engaged, mat chittaha, if mind is to be engaged in Krishna, then first comes the senses. We'll have to engage the senses first. And once the senses are engaged, then mind will automatically be engaged. Hmm? So the chanting, which is the biggest service of Krishna, first we start with chanting. Okay, we start chanting, the tongue is engaged. Mind is going here and there, let it go. Slowly, after a certain point, trying to bring the mind on chanting again, pray to Krishna. So once we do that, automatically mind starts helping us. So in totality, we can understand that mind goes crazy later, and these are sensors, gross body that works first. Correct? No? Anytime you see, if you are crazy for anything, we had some touch with that object we are crazy for. So mind comes later. Hari bol Udit bro, saying something? Okay.
No,
Thank
sorry, Prabhuji, sorry.
Okay. Similarly, with this, we can also understand that if we want to have our mind engaged in something, we would have to engage our senses first. There is a saying also, out of body, out of sight, out of mind. You know? So you see here also, we are talking about senses first. Like if you take something out of sight, which means out of your senses, then it will go out of your mind also, which means senses comes first. That is why there is always a focus. There is so much focus Prabhupada is giving on service, devotional service. In fact, he has translated bhakti as devotional service. Why? Because service is first important. Mat chitta will automatically come later. Hmm? Then you see, Krishna is using this word here, madgat prana. Madgat prana means um, the devotee of Krishna is not worrying about his own prana. He is living for Krishna, dying for Krishna. He does not worry about his own respect or his own name, fame, money, pride, prestige. Doesn't worry about them. In the last class also we were discussing about it, right? Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amanina manadena. Amanina. He is not expecting any man from anyone. man dena, but he gives man, he gives respect to everybody. Okay, anything he does, yes, kirtaniya sadahari. He is always chanting Krishna's name. He is working for Krishna. That is madgata prana. He is doing everything for Krishna. His whole prana is meant for Krishna only. And what does he do? Bodhiyanta kathantescha. And they derive great pleasure in doing this. Tushyanti ramanti cha. Here is an example. You see, when Acharya discuss this example, is very nice. Where it says, if a diya or a, what do you call it, deepak is alone, then you will see some you will see darkness behind it. But if two facing deepak will come in front of each other, then they kill the darkness of each other. Similarly, when devotees discuss the pastime of Krishna, whatever attachment, lust, anger, greed, the problems they have in this world, the all those problems that comes from what? From agyan, that ignorance that we have. So that ignorance gets dissipated. Like you see in this picture, the darkness gets dissipated when two burning candles come in front of each other. Similarly, when two devotees come each other, face each other, I mean, talk each other, talk with each other about Krishna, then all the darkness that they have out of the, I mean, for out of ignorance, that gets dissipated and they become fixed in devotional service. Tushyanti Charamandir, they derive great pleasure in this. I remember I was in Bombay in 2016 or 17, and I was coming from Pune to Delhi. So there was some other passenger sitting, so they didn't recognize uh, that I'm chanting. After an hour or two, one lady found out some. He said, "Where is this voice coming?" And then they realized that I was sitting upstairs chanting. So I finished my chanting and I came down. I sat with them and I begged forgiveness because they were disturbed. They said, "No, no, we were not disturbed. We just thought, where is this voice coming?" And then one lady all of a sudden said, "Can you please tell me something about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I want to hear more glories of him." And I remember we just started talking, and for the whole journey, it's like morning we started talking about it, and then until we came in Delhi, it was we just kept talking. She started sharing many pastimes. Other devotees, other passengers also, they were also had some inclination towards Krishna, so they also started sharing some pastimes they heard about Krishna. So, and all of us derived great pleasure in this, you know. So, yeah, Dushanti cha Ramanti cha. So similarly, this is a, let me see the time. Okay, we are over. We'll take 5-10 more minutes and then we'll close. Kishore Prabhu, can you go on mute, please? I don't see you. Okay, 1 minute, Kishore Prabhu. Okay, don't see him how to take a minute. Okay, it's 1 minute. Okay. So this is the verse that comes in Bhagavatam. Sorry, this is the verse that comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will read the translation. So actually, one devotee of Krishna is asking one benediction from him. And what is this benediction? He says, "My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet." Okay, what do you want? He further says, "I want the benediction of at least 1 million years. Years. For thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees." Different, when after the battlefield, when Krishna said, "Okay, Tata, bye bye," I also have 16,108 wives. I have to take care of them. Now I am going Dwarka. And that time, Kunti Maharani came running and he said, "What is the use of us getting the kingdom back? Because when we did not had the kingdom, we had a lot of problems, but you were with us. So we don't want pleasure in this life. I mean, material pleasures. We want problems in this life. Why, Buaji? She was Bua of Krishna. So he said, "Why, auntie? Why do you need problems?" She said, "Because if problems will be there, you will be with us." So I see devotees are very amazing. They just want to have association of Krishna through ears, through eyes, through personal association. And here this devotee is Prithu Maharaj is asking a benediction. He's saying, "Give me 1 million years." 1 million years to hear. Wow. Why do you need 1 million years to hear? Because all the your pastimes are very, very nectarian to hear. And I just want to live in those uh, nectarian pastimes of yours. That's the So you give me 1 million years so that I can not only hear your one pastime, but I can hear your 1 million pastimes at the same time, and I can understand and I can contemplate and I can relish them. Hmm? Like we have 2 years, and but we can hear only one pastime. So he's asking this benediction that gave me 1 million years, but not like I can hear only one pastime. Give me the power that I can hear your 1 million pastimes at the same time, so I can relish them, your pastimes. So why I'm telling you this, because in the shloka you read, Katyantascha bodhyanta tushyanti ramanti. Tushyanti ramanti. They relish so bliss by hearing Krishna about Krishna that in the benediction they are asking this 1 million years give me too so I can hear. Okay, lastly I'll show you some pictures. Srila Prabhupada time. All these devotees are big positions in companies, but they are relishing this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. We'll have two more shlokas from this Chatur Shloki Bhagavad that we will discuss next class. If there is any question, we can probably take one question and then we'll stop. Okay. Thank you all for joining. Vancha kalptaruvesha kripa sindhevche patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णवंत की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।